What's up, everybody? This is Liz Katz, and I am pregnant. Like, really pregnant. Really, really pregnant. Like, 9 months, uncomfortable, just a few weeks left, home stretch. I'm so over it, pregnant. So I found out I was pregnant in January, and it was the beginning of 2020, and everything seemed so exciting and promising, and me and my boyfriend were super, super excited about it. But the year kind of went a little funky towards March. And I want to talk a little bit about what it's been like to be pregnant during a pandemic. First of all, I'm super excited. We're still extremely excited. Like, this is one of the happiest best things that's happened to us. Not the pandemic, but Babylirious. But I was looking forward to this version of a pregnancy that I didn't get with my first child. I have a preteen, and when I had him, I was younger. I was about 20. And now that, I run a business and I have things together and I had savings, I was so excited to actually be able to have kind of like a more pampered pregnancy. And I was really looking forward to things like massages and chiropractors and a baby moon. That's what I was like most excited about. I wanted to do, like, I never did a baby moon. I wanted to do a baby moon in Hawaii. You see pictures of people doing baby moons. She's like, I want one. And I didn't get that. But, that's like these are like first world problems. So let's talk about the other problems. There was like the normal pregnancy cravings. So for me, it was mostly things like apples and grapes and a few other things. However, in March, when everyone was first freaking out about COVID, the stores had nothing fresh. Nothing that I was craving. I couldn't get anything, and it was just basically whatever we had stored is what I ate. It obviously got better after, I'd say, mid-April. Stores started having stuff again. I wasn't really leaving the house. I was really looking forward to doing things like the classes this time, doing like prenatal classes, actually learning how to handle pain with giving birth or something instead of screaming and being told that I was upsetting other mothers, like with my first one. But because of COVID, I couldn't do anything. There were no classes. There's still no classes. There's no hanging out with other pregnant ladies, setting up friends for your child for lifelong down the line. There's no anything. It's really just been doctor's appointments, and I think I've gone to like the store less than 10 times. It's a much different experience than I was expecting for this year, and I can't complain though, because there's people who were dealing with much, much worse. I'm very thankful that we're still all very healthy here, and we're still doing well, and we're still in high spirits here, and thankfully things can be delivered again, and the deliveries are happening again. Though I think I'm driving like delirious crazy because since everything has to be delivered, since I'm limiting going to stores, it's like a box city. I'm constantly breaking down the boxes. Santa Claus has arrived every day. We got a new plunger. Oh, look, the baby has clothes hangers. And it's just stuff that you'd normally go out and get, but, avoiding trips out, I'm not doing that. Another thing is, and you might be able to hear right now, so I'm typically have mild congestion, but since getting pregnant, it like makes your sinuses and all up here swell more. So on and off, it's been so bad. So I like will sniff or cough or have issues, and I feel like everyone just turns and stares at me when I do it now, because we just assume if anyone's sniffing, it's like COVID. I feel so self-conscious not to sniff, and it's so hard because of how inflamed my sinuses feel from being pregnant, on top of wearing a mask on that, on top of then having the anxiety of trying not to make any noises, and then I'm just like freaking out. I'd say internally, but I'm sure people can probably see it as I'm like, I kind of pick the times. Obviously, if there's anything wrong, I'd go to the doctor, but I'm not going and running to the doctor for every little thing. I mean, this is my second anyway, so it's kind of like, you kind of feel if something's normal or not. But I'm talking about things too, like, I had to do my glucose tolerance test, which is like a normal part when you're pregnant. They make you do a glucose tolerance test. I don't handle those well. I did not handle that drink well, and so I failed my first glucose tolerance test. I don't even know how, because normally I'm a low blood sugar person. So they wanted me to go do a 3-hour one, and at that point I had switched insurance though, and the place that they wanted me to go was like a big blood draw place. There was no smaller option. I was like, I'm not doing that. First of all, I have to watch my other kid, and I'm not going to take him there. Second of all, with driving there, it'd be like almost 4 hours of doing that. So instead of dealing with that, I have been doing blood sugar testing at home regularly. I have like marks. I don't know if you can see. But yeah, I'm like covered in little marks because I'm trying to avoid having to bring everyone to the blood draw place at the hospital. And instead I've been testing my blood sugar. So I'm supposed to do it for, I think, 2 more weeks. And it's been like low normal. So I'm not sure. I think I just don't tolerate that drink they make you drink. They make you to drink this terrible drink for that glucose intolerance test. So for those of you who don't know what a glucose tolerance test is, when you're pregnant, at a certain amount of weeks, you have to go in and in the morning, and you fast before it. And they have you drink this drink. It's about this big, and it tastes like a really nasty, thick Gatorade. And basically, it just contains a lot of glucose all at once. And tiny me can't seem to handle it. So what they do is you drink the drink, they wait an hour, and they draw your blood. And for some reason, I don't do well with those, because with normal eating, I never have had high blood sugar in my life. So I can't imagine having to do the 3-hour one. Because 3-hour one, if you fail the 1-hour one, you have to go back in for the 3-hour one. The 3-hour one, they have you drink an even stronger drink. And then you have to kind of stay in there because they got to watch to make sure you're okay and don't like pass out and stuff. Because I felt terrible during my 1-hour one. And they draw your blood, I think, every hour until 3 hours. That's awful. I'd rather keep pricking myself and testing my blood sugar at home than do that. And some of you may also be wondering why I have prick marks all up and down my arms instead of on my fingers. Because I got this thing, it's like called a genteel, I don't know if you'd call it a testing device, plunger, I don't know. Whatever you'd call it. It's this thing that you can use to prick yourself pretty much anywhere, and it uses some suction to pull it up. My fingertips are very, very sensitive. I did not want to do fingertips, so I got this very overpriced but adorable thing that lets me do it anywhere else. So another part of the pandemic that I know a lot of us have been dealing with is our kids are just home. They're just home. So I have my son, starting in March, right after spring break, he started the online classes, and it was very much more involved than I was expecting, because I was already tired, and I was still dealing with some morning sickness then, and then I had to deal with, we're doing online school now, which was a lot of me having to explain stuff. The teacher only went on a couple times, like once or twice a week, and it was a lot of me making sure he was doing stuff. So it was kind of like being a version of a homeschool teacher, or at least a home teacher's aide, I'd consider it. But it was not what I expected to add to work for this year. And then now he's also doing all digital again, and I'm like, at least they're now more involved. There's a lot more, seemingly a lot more face-to-face online instruction. But still, I know it's constant me having to check up, make sure he's not like on different websites, making sure that he's doing his work, making sure he understands his work, making sure he's at the right classes at the right time. And I kind of didn't expect that. But those are the cards we've all been given. Let's see, other things. Oh yes. So you might notice, probably for the first time, I don't have my nails done. So I have switched recently to press-on nails, which I didn't currently put on because I completely forgot before I went on here. Because I can't get my nails done. And when I do get them done, like I have got them done a few times, I get stuck with the gels and stuff on because I can't, and I have to try to take them off myself, and I'm not very careful, so I just rip off half my real nail anyway. That's why they're so short. Because usually my nails are my natural nails, but they're with gels, but I just ripped them off the other day. And, oh, I still have one here. And then I'll record with things like press-on nails and stuff. Where do you go? I don't know what finger this one goes on. I don't know. Falling apart over here. So I have been a part of like a few online groups of other people who, you know, are pregnant during the pandemic. And I think the biggest fear everyone has is the hospital rules. Last spring, some places were not letting any support people in. That would be like your partner, you know, your baby's dad. Some were, but then they make, and I think they still do, they make you and your partner get tested for COVID. If you or your partner exhibit like COVID symptoms, some hospitals will make you get retested. And some will take your baby and not let you have contact with your baby, which I don't even know if it's legal, but it's like hospital policy in numerous places. And now things I think have chilled out a little bit with it. If your baby does need to go in the NICU, some hospitals don't let any parent visitors in there. Some will let one. So that's kind of a tough thing too. And I think that's kind of everyone's biggest fear with that. And the second biggest fear is, of course, you go to the hospital, you give birth, and like you and your baby pick up COVID there from one of the nurses, which I had heard one or two stories about, not them picking it up there, but them getting a call saying one of the nurses had tested positive for it who dealt with them there. That's just more anxiety on top of normal baby stuff, but that's just 2020. I think the biggest thing for everyone though who has delivered during the pandemic or got pregnant during the pandemic or been pregnant during the pandemic is the normal amount of support that is typically there from family, from community, just the support, and it's just not there. I know some people are seeing people again, but especially the beginning of this, and even now too, it's a pretty isolated feeling. I'm very thankful that I do have Delirious. He and I ended up getting a new place together, but for the months leading up to that, it was just me and my son, and there was no one else there, and it was really, really, really hard. And I know a lot of other moms are kind of in that boat this year, and I feel for any like actual single moms too, because it's just really, really hard. With COVID itself, the biggest fear, for me at least, has been like the unknown to it. And normal me wouldn't be normally as scared of things. I'd be taking precautions, I'd be wearing a mask, I'd be staying away from people, but I'd at least be going out to stores some and wouldn't have this lingering sense of like fear about it. But being pregnant and then also with the baby, you kind of have this feeling of they don't know what the long-term complications or issues could be if you got COVID while pregnant, or if your baby got COVID. There is no known thing of what the long-term issues could be on it, if there are any, if there could be any. And that to me, like, uncertainties to me are the things that I like the least. I like knowing things. And this year has been the biggest learning experience for me, because I am a total like to be in control person. Even though I'm pretty chaotic, I like to know what's going on and feel as though I'm in control. And this year has been all about kind of letting go of that feeling of control and being okay with the fact that we are not in control, that there's a lot out of our control, but there's certain things we can control, and focusing on those things in our life. Because this year is just, this year, come on. And to me, the biggest thing that is in my control is making sure my family's happy and that we have everything good and everything's taken care of here. And that's kind of been my focus, and my sanity has been my family. And I'd like to think that I'm helping keeping them together as well, though I'm sure to hear them tell it, I might add to craziness. But now that we're here and entering the home stretch, I kind of already feel a sense of like accomplishment. Like, we have Babylirious almost here, and it's like, I almost did it. And I'm super excited about meeting them, but there's still that thought in my mind of all the risks, all the craziness of this year, all the craziness of the virus things that we don't know about. And then also, once the baby's born, it's the things that they're gonna miss out on. There's not gonna be the socialization or the little baby gym classes or baby swim classes or anything for quite a long time like there normally would be. And there's not gonna be walks around the mall, and there's not gonna be, seeing family, or it's gonna be our immediate family. It's gonna be walks around the neighborhood, and it's gonna be a lot of just us together, which on the one side is great because you get to bond as a family more and we're all together, but still it's like I feel like both for the baby and I, the mother, that like socialization has, at least in the past for me, always seemed very important. So this is it's been very different this year, and I think it'll continue to be different. But that doesn't make it bad. It just makes it something that I know we're constantly adapting to. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe because it means so much to me. You guys rock, and I'll see you next time. Bye.